Hey guys, Charlie here. If you're anything like me, you've been playing a ton of the Destiny beta since it came out. If you're on the Microsoft consoles, sorry, sucks to be you a little bit. Don't worry, it's absolutely worth the wait. The beta's been nothing but amazing for me so far. If you're not lucky enough to be in the beta, the final games is just going to be amazing. It's absolutely worth the wait, and I'm kind of envious of you guys that get to experience Destiny completely fresh on a totally finished project. So that being said, though, as I've been playing the game, I've been noticing just how important the kind of background RPG elements are. And it's not getting a lot of press, so I thought I'd cover them myself in a quick video. So, the RPG elements I was talking about are Intellect, Defense, and Strength, which I'll get to in a second. I want to quickly address the concept of level and defense in this game, which are important but not as game-changing as the other three. Defense, obviously just your armor level. Higher the armor level, the more damage you can take. Level, pretty self-explanatory again, it's your level. Some weapons are level locked, you can't use them before a certain point, and there's recommendations in the game of what level you should be before you attempt a mission. Pretty normal for an RPG. So first off, the three that are important is Intellect. Intellect affects the cooldown of your spells. And by spells, I mean in the case of my Titan's Ground Pound Fist of Havoc move. It's a giant AoE clearing move. It takes time to recharge. The more things you kill, the faster it recharges, obviously. And Intellect gives you a further boost into that, which can really get you back in the fight occasionally. The super moves, I should have a more official name, but I like calling them super moves, are just fantastically different across the classes. The Hunter's a Golden Gun. Literally, it's called the Golden Gun. It's a super-powered charge shot. For the Warlock, it's a warp spell that can just decimate a single target, a large one preferably. And obviously, in the case of my Titan, it's this Ground Pound, which is great for AoE crowd control. You can take a lot of weaker enemies in one move. I use it a lot, actually, against the enemies that rush you, because it's just great to clear yourself a nice swatch when that happens. Next up is Discipline. Discipline affects grenades, which is actually a really big deal in my book, because I was a little upset by how long grenade cooldowns took in the alpha. Maybe I didn't notice this is all in the alpha, but I'm definitely noticing it now, because I've had more time to play around with this kind of stuff. The higher discipline, the faster your grenades cool down, essentially, which in certain circumstances can, again, be just amazingly useful. I have another character that's not my Titan that I have a much higher discipline on, and I'm just slinging grenades all day. It's great. And the fact that there is a way of speeding up that cooldown, and the fact that the grenades are so varied in this game, makes this, in my book, one of the more important RPG elements, because I think of grenades as being a super fundamental combat skill in this game, given just how powerful they can be. And finally, we have Strength. Strength, as the name implies, affects your melee abilities, but doesn't actually affect how much damage it does. It affects the cooldown of it. All of these three elements affect cooldown, obviously. I've talked about that way. But this one's kind of interesting, because every single class has a super-powered melee attack of varying proportions. In the case of the Hunter, it's a knife throw, which is very different from the other ones. In the case of my Titan, it's a big, meaty electrical shock fist. In the case of the Warlock, it's an energy steal, which is a little confusing to me still, so I'm not going to talk about it in depth. But again, this is the one I feel is kind of the least important in some regards. I've not found a great situation where I've wanted the super shield-cracking power of my Titan's electrical fist, in this case the Storm Fist. Electrical, storm, makes sense. Except against giant bosses, and getting that close to a giant boss is a good way to die. So, but that being said, it's a really useful move, and you go into the kind of the leveling system for your various abilities. This can be a very useful skill, because in the case of my Titan, I can make an AoE melee attack and hit multiple enemies at once. So that's it for the RPG background elements. I'm going to have 2 more videos like this about the weapons and the kind of skill tree your character has going on. I'll link to those both in the notes and as little pop-ups on the screen. They should be popping up right now. So yeah, stay tuned for more Destiny.